Hi Multitool users, I know that you've been doing some searches on the internet and trying to work out what is the best multi-tool for you, and you've come up with some interesting information. Some of it's conflicting, some of it's not, and you've come across this video of mine about a Leatherman Wave Plus multi-tool, and wondering if I'm going to offer you any interesting or differing information. Well, firstly, I'm not a seller of Leatherman multi-tools or knives. I'm a user of multi-tools. I've used multi-tools many times in my life for various jobs that I've had the privilege of working in. Multi-tools follow me around everywhere I go, and I recently scored a job as a handyman come maintenance man in a resort some year and a half ago or so. And I needed to find a new multi-tool to suit the job that I was doing. So I've been there for some period of time, and I settled on buying a multi-tool like that. That is a Wave Plus Leatherman in its configuration, its pliers configuration. So I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm not doing an unboxing. This is not an off-the-shelf, oh my goodness me, I've just bought a new product, what do you think about that? Doesn't it smell good? I'm actually a practical user of it, and I'm going to tell you the pluses and minuses of what I've come across since buying this product. Now, if you have a look very closely, just put it in front of the lens, it's had a little bit of wear and tear. It's been a year since I bought that, actually a little bit less than a year since I bought the Leatherman Wave Plus, and not a single tool has broken on it. The pliers get a lot of use, the screwdriver gets a lot of use, and there's a couple of other odds and ends in there which I will show you very shortly that get a lot of use as well. Some things that I didn't expect to use, I use a lot. Anyway, let's take a look at the Leatherman Wave multi-tool. As you can see, my Leatherman Wave Plus has had a lot of use. That's about 9 to 10 months worth of use. You can see the black is starting to wear, and we're back to a little bit of silver on both sides. I'm not too worried about that, because the tool is more important, or the tools are more important. So the first tool that we come across here is the pliers. A nice set of long nose pliers there, and inside here is a wire cutter. And if you look very closely and you get the gap just right underneath, you'll see that you've actually got a mini wire stripper, which in my job is very important, because from time to time I'm cutting and stripping wires and soldering them together to fix and repair various electrical appliances. The knife is another important tool. You'll notice that it locks into place. Very positive lock there. There's no chance of it ever closing in on you while you're cutting something. So if you were to hit it that way around, it would never close on your finger and cut your thumb. That's the same goes for the opposing serrated knife. I've used it for plastering. I think some of you call it drywalling. You still see a little bit of chalk on top of it there. I actually used it as a saw to cut small segments out of drywall just recently, and again it's got a locking device to stop it from closing in on your finger. I find that's very important to know. It has a file. Oh no, not the file, this is the saw. And again, in my line of work, doing what I'm doing, I find this quite helpful to have, because I'd be sawing small branches. Sometimes I'm cutting a thick cardboard, and that saw has been used many times. I didn't think I was going to use it as much as I did, but I do use it. On the other side is a file. One side is coarse, and the other side is very fine. Great for sharpening other knives. Not this knife, obviously. You can't. There's nothing much you can do about having a sharpening file like that on the knife you're trying to sharpen. Let's flip it around. Open up the insides. Very important tool in my line of work is a screwdriver. That's a Phillips head. turn it around and you've got a flat blade screwdriver. I use this constantly. You can probably see the amount of wear on that's been given on the screwdriver head there. I use that constantly. Now, it's not perfect. For screws that are a long way recessed into items such as chairs, plastic things, what do you call it, the backs of computers and whatnot, you can't get, there's not enough reach here to get into the socket to turn the Phillips head. And unfortunately, I don't think there is available an extension bar for it. Maybe Leatherman could have a bit of a think about this and see what they could do in changing the design or improving it. If that was something that I would improve and look at changing, yes, it would be an extension so that we can get into, you know, whatever distance is required to reach the screw and unscrew it. In the Leatherman Plus kit, you get extra sockets, extra screwdriver heads, and I picked the one that's got screwdriver, hex bits, as well as other Phillips heads and flathead screwdrivers. Mainly because there is a little bit of electronics involved with what I do, and so these tiny little Phillips head screwdriver heads do from time to time get used. I've even put sunglasses back together. You know that little screw in the hinge where the arm comes away from the glasses? I've even used these for that. Didn't think I was ever going to use them for that purpose, but anyway, that's what happens when you're a maintenance man in a resort. And you can see how much use some of these other bits have had. Look at this one here. There's even though they're Allen keys, Leatherman have worked out a way of giving you enough surface area to keep the thing flat, but still produce the Allen key shape. Not all surfaces inside the Allen key socket are going to be gripped on with this thing, so it's not perfect. You've got to have a pretty good shape inside the Allen key in order for that to grip, but 99 times out of 100 it does exactly what it needs to do for me. And there's a few other Allen keys in there that I have used. Here's another one, a star-shaped key that I've used once or twice, and that's in the Plus example. Let's get back to the tools. Where was I? Oh yes, that's locked into place just like the knives were blocked. And what have we got over here? I'm just trying to remember what I've... See, I don't use all of these tools. There are lots of tools that I use every single day. Oh, here we go. A can opener / bottle opener. I've never used it. Never ever used it. Probably will get used around Christmas time, I think. We'll see. And given that I'm on a job site, it's not likely for me to be drinking any alcohol while I'm working. On this side, we have got, let me just move it out of the way. I've got two tools out here at the same time. I'll try and bring one of them back in. There we go. A flat blade screwdriver. I've used it as a scraper. I've used it as a poker. I've lifted up paint can lids with it. It's very strong. In fact, all of the componentry is strong. I have mentioned that before, but yes, if you're going to break anything, it'll be a time when you are using it in a slightly different angle to what it was designed. Obviously, the engineering is designed to work in a rounding method like that, but if you pry something up like that, if you've got a cheap tool, it's probably going to break at that point, and then you have no use for that tool anymore. Anyway, I've used it many times and it hasn't broken. Love it. Now, this is where the very fine screwdriver comes into it. Obviously, if you're looking at tiny little Phillips heads and flat-headed screws, flat slotted screws, I should say, this is the screwdriver for you. This is where you'll be using it. And it comes out there. One side is flat, the other side is, let me just get it in, a Phillips head. You probably can't see it on the screen. These are engineer-sized screw points. I can't tell whether that's showing up on the screen, but you'll just have to trust me if it's not. That's what that's all about. And there's a spare set of those on the plus kit. There it is there, right at the very top of the tray. Just move that into the center of the screen. There we go. A pair of scissors. I haven't used them that much. I have used them once or twice, but not much. I suppose you could cut your nails with it, small string, a little bit of piece of paper or something, but they're spring loaded. Obviously to save space. There's no rings for your fingers. It's just a simple squish from one side, and the two blades meet and cut whatever it is you're cutting. It's not fancy, but it is functional, very functional. We pack that away, and I don't always pack this away when that's better. Now she's away. There you go. Now when I bought it, it came with a pouch, a mole pouch, M-O-L-L-E. I think that's how you pronounce it. And the pouch was good. At first. Now, you've got to remember, I'm using this tool every day, every single day of the year when I'm at work. What happened is it started to wear. The back of it doesn't show any signs of wear, but the front does. If you have a look here, there is a little wear area here. And when the knife goes in and out of the pouch, if you just excuse me for a moment while I reach for my knife, goes in and out of the pouch there like that, but and it sits on my belt like that each day, when I reach around, I flip the flap and then I push up from the bottom and pull the knife out. This constant pushing up from the bottom has created a little tear, and one day I nearly lost the knife. And there's a little tear on the other side. This is where I put some carpet tape. It's very strong stuff, very aggressive in its adhesiveness, and I put one on the inside as well, just to make sure I never lost the knife. As you know, that these knives can be quite expensive. So it kind of made me a little worried about the pouch. I went back online and I had a look to see if Leatherman did a better pouch, and they do. And this is the specific pouch for the Leatherman Wave Plus. There you go. And it seems to be a very robust little pouch. There's your belt loop on the back. Good strong stitching there and there. Good strong stitching around the outside. I hope it's good strong stitching. It's only been 4 weeks since I've had it. Got the name on the front. I didn't care for the name, but there you go, you get it anyway. If it's going to wear anywhere, it'll be around the clip, because that gets lifted every day. You can see there's a little bit of softening just happening in this area now, so that's where I lift it. There's a possibility that it may lift in the seams. These are the weakest points of the pouch, but we'll see. Maybe in a year's time I'll be giving you another video with another review of the pouch rather than of the knife. You really can't blame Leatherman. Leatherman wants to sell a very competitive multi-tool, and in order to make it competitive, they don't put the most expensive pouch in the packet. They put the less expensive one in the packet, and because these are often given as gifts to somebody else, that is, that the buyer isn't necessarily always the user, I think they're hoping that the next person who owns the Leatherman has to worry about the pouch, not the owner. But I'm the owner, and I use it very frequently. I have to worry about it because I need my tools to be available every single day, and that pouch, which is, you know, quite a good proportion of the multi-tool itself, is worth spending the money on if you're going to be buying a Leatherman and using it yourself, like I am doing in the handyman role. Well, there you go. That's the Leatherman Wave Plus multi-tool. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I use this in my job daily. So it's being used in a very practical sense every single day, every single working day of the year for me. And I'll pull it out of that pouch maybe half a dozen to 2 dozen times, depending on how busy I am and the kind of jobs that I'll be doing through the course of any given shift. I don't get paid for these videos, and I'm not looking for major followers. If you have a look at any of the reviews that I've done before, they've got nothing to do with multi-tools. They've got nothing to do with knives, screwdrivers, or any of that. It's just occasionally I come across things in my life, and I like to share them with my experiences with other people. So if you'd like to follow, good and well. Very minimally, just put a like. If you found this was a very interesting little video and it served you in some way, shape or form, put a like down and pass it on to your friends. I won't make a killing out of it. In fact, I won't make a single dime. There's no monetization on my YouTube channel. It's just simply free information to give to you based on the experiences that I've had with things in my life, like the Leatherman Way Plus multi-tool. I hope you had a really great time listening and watching. We'll see you again sometime. Bye.